Watch your birds and geezers, welcome back to Grand Prix World and the Sauber playthrough. Welcome back to Switzerland, where we have some unhappy people, or they may not be unhappy, who knows, we're staying out of it, we're Swiss. Things are going actually quite swimmingly, and I do have some comments and such to get back to you on, but big news, of course, is that we've got a two-season team sponsorship deal with Red Bull that will continue. That's great news because that's 21 million in the bank right off the bat, and we're only at round 5. We are part way in to securing ourselves a two-season works deal for 10.6 million with Peugeot. Not the engine supplier I initially wanted to go with, but the deal was just too good to turn down. And we also have the potential of a 2-year partnership deal with Goodyear. Now, I don't normally like being locked into a partnership deal for 2 years because I want to have some input on tyre development. In fact, the works deal, if you're okay for money, the works deal that actually provides the biggest benefit is tyres. But we're not going to get a works deal, and I'm happy to take a partner for 2 years, and then we can make a run on the championship season 3 probably, and then we have a 1 season partnership deal on the table potentially with Agip. Again, that's fine, it's only for a season because after that we'll begin hopefully having enough money to move forward. We are not really negotiating with any cash sponsors right now, probably should make a run on that. I'd ideally like to keep Patronus. I'm not sure that's a realistic goal. But let's see, we'll stick 15% on there. Again, not bothering with any hospitality until we get to Monaco. How are we doing in terms of designs and whatnot? Well, our design is legal now, which is beneficial. We're also working on an update package, but no technology improvements, which we really should get to work on actually, and no driver aids. That's good because there's no known cure. I'm going to actually begin working on reliability. It's going to be a rough season. The first seasons in my playthroughs usually are because that's the way I like it. But it's fine because we are making investments for the future, and actually the temptation is there, depending on how cash flow goes over the season, to already get a workshop and a supercomputer up and running, but we will see. We've signed our drivers for next year. That brings me on to some feedback. Mr. Beetlejuice pointed out, why on earth didn't we sign Rubens Barrichello while the opportunity was there? It's a fair point. He's 25. He's young at this stage in his career. It's hard to believe for me that he was young, but look how talented he is. And he's fairly reasonably priced, to be honest, 4.1 million. So why don't I do that? 2 reasons. One is that it was important for me. I wanted to bring new young drivers in and develop them for a season or two and see which, kind of like Red Bull do actually, see which one was worth keeping and then partner them maybe with someone like Jarno Trulli or Alex Wurz or Giancarlo Fisichella, and then go forward with that as a more long-running lineup, or just stick with young drivers altogether, depending on how well it goes. You'd be surprised how quickly some of them can develop. The other reason is that Rubens Barrichello depresses me because I don't think of Stewart and Jordan Rubens Barrichello when I think of Rubens Barrichello. I think of Williams and Ferrari Rubens Barrichello, where he's a grumpy middle-aged man who probably should have retired, and I just can't seem to get out of that brain set. So actually I tend to ignore him when I play through, but it's a fair point. He would have been an excellent choice, but he's not the choice we made. Just making sure we've got all our team leads in place for next season. We do. Superb. I believe we haven't done any testing. How are the cars? The cars are knackered. Why then? What had I built? Who even knows what I'm doing? I don't play this as often as a tour playthrough. I probably should. That would help me keep track of things. Anyway, let's blast through. Johnny Herbert's going to have to deal with a slightly worn car. Well, a half-worn car. Do we have any updates from any of our suppliers? No, we don't, because we are mere peasant customers. We'll set that as it is. No setup points for this Grand Prix. Same old nonsense. 28 degrees and dry for quali. See how we do. A mildly spicy run there from Jean Alesi, pipping Rubens Barrichello and Pedro Diniz. Johnny Herbert takes 14th ahead of Mika Salo's Arrows and the Stewart of Jan Magnussen. The Prosts, Tyrrells and Minardis continue to languish. Up at the sharp end, though, Schumacher takes pole for Ferrari ahead of David Coulthard's McLaren, Eddie Irvine's Ferrari, another strong showing for Benetton, Fisichella leading Wurz, and Frentzen, who's another driver actually I've got my eye on, takes 6th. Bad day for Mika Hakkinen, only managing 7th, just pipping Damon Hill. 27 degrees and very dry, which is more dry than dry, in case you were wondering. Dry is not a binary, it's purely a social construct anyway. Right, we are going to be one-stopping this young man, who's no longer a young man, but is actually fat and on Sky Sports. But we'll set that aside for a minute. He'll come in lap 33. I'm going to put fresh boots on for both stints, because why not? No points again. Jean Alesi coming home 9th. Johnny Herbert having an electronic failure, which is not surprising because, well, our electronic systems look like they were put together by a preschool. Jan Magnussen also failed to finish. Damon Hill, Pedro Diniz, Shinji Nakano, Alex Wurz all failed to make the finish. Wurz, Nakano and Diniz all with hydraulic failure, so there was something very unhydraulic-y going on. The Prosts lead the Minardis and Tyrrells home. Up at the sharp end, David Coulthard takes the win for McLaren. Mika Hakkinen, sterling recovery drive for him, coming home 2nd. Eddie Irvine rounds out your podium. Johnny Newhouse, Heintal Frentzen make it a double points finish for Williams as well. And then Benetton take the final points with Giancarlo Fisichella. Michael Schumacher moonwalks his way from the front down to 8th. Chamon motherfuckers. Heintal Frentzen is inexplicably your World Championship leader at the moment on 19 points, ahead of Schumacher, Irvine and Hakkinen, who are all huddled together on 16 points, just one clear of David Coulthard. Johnny Newhouse and Giancarlo Fisichella have their faces pressed up against the window as well. 13 points apiece, and just behind them, Wurz and Hill. It's actually a very close championship. Williams and Ferrari are your joint championship leaders, 32 points apiece. McLaren are on 31 points, and Benetton trailing on 23. Okay, what's going down? We have improved our deal with Red Bull. That was important. We wanted to make sure that happened. Some minor progress on the Peugeot deal. More progress as well on our 2 partnership deals. Fantastic news. No progress, that's the word I was looking for, on the Petronas deal, but we've got time to spare. Right, what we're going to do is actually bump down we're going to bump down the staff commitment to these deals, and we are going to pump some manpower. Christ, is that the best we can manage? Well, that's all we'll do. I will always aim to do... Oh, Goodyear talking to someone else. That's unfortunate. Right, Peugeot will bring... we will bring Agip and Petronas or Red Bull. I'm going to bring Red Bull because they're putting more money into the team. It kind of sucks that we can't bring Goodyear along. We will splash the moolah. Best part of $500,000 just to grease the wheels a little bit, and it's always worth utilising the glamour of Monaco, even if you can't put in the quality of experience that we might aim for. How's the design things going? Not especially well. We are behind schedule now on next year's car. Um, However, we are doing okay on the upgrade package. I'm going to fill all the bars on this and just bring one upgrade package this season. We don't really want to be testing for more anyway. Um, right, let's build spare parts and see if we can't improve matters by, first of all, running two cars in fully race-worthy condition, but also maybe running a small testeroo to see if we can't get some setup points on the go. Um, yeah, let's limit our mileage. I think 160 miles should be fine. And yeah, let's see how that goes. Not as well as I'd hoped, but that's okay. Alace's car gets priority. Prior to Herbert's, and actually we can get both of them into pristine condition, which is good. Right, I think a quick scan through the news. Ferrari have signed East, which is West. Confusing, I know. We've signed with Red Bull for another 2 seasons. David Coulthard has added a win to his tally. Johnny Herbert had an early end to his race. Benetton have signed Jarno Trulli, that's a good move. And Ferrari have picked up Heinz-Harald Frentzen, also a good selection, actually. Jordan will retain Damon Hill. Minardi have signed Luca Badoa. Williams have picked up Alexander Wurz from Benetton. Esteban Tuero is moving from Minardi to Stewart. Our favourite, Pedro Diniz, has bought his way into McLaren. That's nice. Money does talk. Ricardo Rossi will be staying at Tyrrell, and some sponsor deals of no real interest to us have happened. We are also named worst manager. Don't know why. Made a small loss at the last Grand Prix, £26,190. We're going to lose some more money now, but such is life. At least we've got some setup points to play with. Brakes, downforce and speed are the order of the day. No point putting anything into overtaking, and you could set up for wind and weather, but I don't see the point given we don't know what it's going to do. We only get a hint from the way the cars are pre-set up. No extra tyres. That sucks. It would have been really good to have particularly softs, actually. Actually, no hards now I think about it, because you don't really want to be stopping more than once here if you can avoid it. It would be very good to have had a new specification of hard tyre with extra grip. I'm still going to run Jean Alesi on the softs, hoping that a good qualifying performance gives him a shot at some points. This is probably our best shot at points for the year, so I'm hoping they don't balls it up. The car isn't exactly the worst, although you wouldn't know it from the qualifying positions. 14 and 15, Alesi out qualifying Herbert, but only just. Meanwhile, on the business end, Mick Schumacher leads Eddie Irvine in a Ferrari 1-2. Fisichella leading Wurz in a Benetton 3-4. Heinz-Harald Frentzen takes 5th, continuing a strong run for him. Hakkinen is in 6th. Both Jordans in the top 10 as well. Arrow's just tickling fondly the underside of the top 10. 28 degrees, dry with a strong wind for your race. Fresh boots all around because we want to make sure he can stay out. 39 for Johnny Herbert. Hope the tyres last and he doesn't bin it. Well, they both bin it. Amazing. Johnny Herbert out with suspension failure. Same for Jan Trulli's Prost. John Lacey's in the second of our cars. All with suspension failure alongside Olivier Panis's Prost, actually. Engine failures taking out the arrows of Pedro Diniz, Giancarlo Fisichella's Benetton, Häkkinen's McLaren, Damon Hill's Jordan, and Esteban Tuero's Minardi, and hydraulic failure for Jan Magnussen in the Stewart. That means your finishers, of which there are only 11, Michael Schumacher and Eddie Irvine lead 1-2 again, pole to win for Schumacher. Hans-Holger Frentzen fights his way up to the last step of the podium. Johnny Newhouse joining him in P4. David Coulthard 5th for McLaren. Ralf Schumacher 6th for Jordan. What does that do to the Drivers' Championship, I hear you cry? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Michael Schumacher is now your points leader, 26 points to Heinz-Harald Frentzen's 23. Ferrari making a good move for him, I think. Eddie Irvine tailing him by a mere point. Close battle still for 5th. Johnny Newhouse and Mika Häkkinen equal on points and both only 1 point behind David Coulthard in 4th. Fisichella sits 7th on 13 and Wirtz and Damon Hill 10 points apiece in 8th. Ferrari now sit atop the pile of constructors, 48 points to Williams 39 and McLaren's 33. Benetton continue to trail 10 points behind their nearest rivals. Jordan leading Arrows 11-2. Right, give me some good news. No progress on any of our deals, probably because we embarrassed ourselves. We also made a loss, of course, because we're spending money we don't really have and getting no return for it. Thanks, guys. Right, all that remains then is for me to wish you a very happy remainder of your Monday. Thank you so much for joining me for your Sauber playthrough. We will be back on Wednesday, most likely, with a dose of Tyrrell and Red Bull. Hope all of you are keeping well. We will speak again soon. Pip pip, cheery ho, tally ho, bye bye.